everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the world's #1 electric shaver, the Remington. Now, let's all play What's My Line?
Now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. In this happy season, everyone is waiting for Santa Claus, but all settled for the man who sits on my left, Mr. Fred Allen.
Imbued with the spirit of Christmas, a certain real estate dealer named Ed Schellenberg has given each member of our panel 1 square foot of land down at Delray Beach, Florida. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I present the only young lady in television who has 3 feet, 2 feet here in New York, and 1 foot down at Delray Beach, Miss Arlene Francis.
Yes, a few more feet and I'd make it. And now the gentleman that you're going to meet is the publisher of those marvelous landmark books for children. Remember that for Christmas, and remember Bennett Cerf.
It's my privilege to introduce our panel moderator, one of the most brilliant and one of the very finest gentlemen on television, Mr. John Daly.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again, tonight, we're up to our old tricks, and we're not going to make the panel put their blindfolds on, for which I probably will get some large thanks after the program's over. We'll have some very interesting occupations, and we think we're going to give them a rough night of it even without extra blindfolds. We'll have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later on, but I think it's time for these experts of ours now to meet our first challenger whose line has to be spotted. So would you sign in, please, ma'am? Catherine Ferro, is that right? And is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Miss Ferro?
Yes.
And where are you from?
From New York, just now.
You're living in New York now? Oh, fine. I catch a bit of a Scotch accent, don't I? Well, I have a bit of a Scotch accent, but I won't dare use it with you. Tell you what, we do like to let the panel get a close look at you, because it might help them decide what it is you do. So would you walk down in front of the panel for me, please?
Are you really Scotch, Miss Brown?
Yes.
Hi.
Miss Farrell, how are you?
Farrell?
First Scotch I've ever seen with no chaser.
Well, will you come over here and sit down with me and let me be your chaser, if you will? Now, I wonder if you're familiar with our scoring system, are you?
Yes.
If you're familiar with the scoring system, then let's let the folks at home and our friends here in the theater with us know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, Miss Farrell is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with the chaser, Fred Ellis.
Miss Farrell, do you perform a service of some kind?
Yes.
You do. Is it some service that I might use?
Yes.
You could.
She doesn't seem to be convincing, John.
Well, I can understand Miss Farrell's reservations. I have a picture in my mind, too. Yes.
Well, if I took advantage of these services, would they improve me in some way?
Yes.
They would.
I will let that affirmative answer stand.
Very nice of you, John.
There'll be some question as to whether or not I should have when it's all undone.
You're interrupting my silence, John. Let me see. It would improve me, you say?
Yes.
Would it improve me from the neck up?
No.
It wouldn't.
That's 1 down and 9 to go.
It wouldn't improve me from the neck up. I
Well, that's where you need the improvement. I'll agree with you there, but...
I was hoping that she had the solution, John.
Now, actually, Fred, I'm loath to give you a full no answer to it, but
I meant my appearance. I mean, from the neck up, my general appearance.
Well, it would not have necessarily a direct bearing on your appearance specifically from the neck up. It might, in the overall picture, improve your appearance, though, and I think we still have to let the nose stand.
May I ask you a question, John?
Yes, Mr. Allen.
Do you think aggressiveness is out of place in a midget? Has nothing to do with things in general, but I mean,
He's not going to answer that question.
Yes.
Well, I'll put my $5 sign down.
Fred. Now, that's one down and 9 to go, Miss
I was
Fred.
a little confused. I meant my general appearance.
You did?
But it's
all right. You're fighting so hard you get it back.
I don't want it.
You can go on. I will agree that I think the question could have been taken generally, so you continue.
No, I won't take it, John. Even in this Christmas, you put me in another bracket with that $5.
All right.
No,
now
I lost fairly. You're right.
We'll 2 cards for delayed time. How's that?
That's right.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francie.
Are your services used by both men and women, Miss Farrell?
Yes.
Do they enjoy your services?
Yes.
Do you touch the people that you come in contact with?
Yes.
Is that the main part of your work, the business of your touching them?
Well,
rather than giving advice, rather than it being a mental job.
Now, never mind.
May
We've
I
just
say, is
been
it a
through
physical
one of
job?
these. No, Miss, we've just been through one of these ringers now.
No, I do mean, is your work more physical than mental? May I put it that way, Mr. Daly?
No, because that still gets you off the hook. We'll have to go back to the original question, which is the touching, the contact, the basic part of her work. Is that
All
what
right,
you mean?
Mr. Daly.
Is that what you mean?
It isn't what I meant, but I'm going to let you go and have your way.
Oh, it's a rough night. It's a rough night, isn't it? What do we do with her? You want to let it go as a yes or a no?
Turn over 250 if you can.
I will say this. There is physical contact necessary, I think, in almost all cases in the performance of the service. To that degree, you are correct, and you please
All
continue.
right. May I ask, Miss Farrell, if you wear something other than the clothes you are wearing now in your job?
Small conference.
Maybe she just came from work. From work.
She wears Scotch tape.
She's stuck with it if she does.
Hooting over it.
No.
Actually, this, we want to be very fair.
Since
Oh,
when?
yeah.
The Christmas spirit is
3
really
down
gone.
and 7 to go. Mr. Cerf.
We're making progress very slowly, I would say. Miss Farrell, when you deal with these men and women, are they in any position other than absolutely upright?
Are they in any position other than absolutely upright? The answer would be no. That would be 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do they move or wiggle around?
It might be necessary under certain circumstances to wiggle around, I guess, would it? Mm-hmm.
Are they on dry land rather than water?
Are they on dry land? Is that your question? Yes, I'd say they're on dry land.
Is there some reason why Miss Farrell is so hesitant, or is that just part of the game?
It's hard to find dry land anymore, Dorothy.
Now, it's been raining heavily, you see, where she is lately.
Do you work indoors rather than out of doors?
yes, indoor.
So these are people who consult you indoors on dry land. Could men and women come together to do what they do?
Yes,
Could more than 2 come at once?
yes.
Do they ever do anything like nip-ups or bending and stretching or anything like that?
No. 5 down and 5 to go. Mr. Allen, I'm going to give you one more
Well, is
minute.
there a product involved in what you do?
Hmm?
There is a product? Is this something that's edible?
Is it edible?
Is it edible?
No.
No, that's 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Is the product ever put on the person?
Yes.
Would it be any form of apparel?
No.
Small quarter.
May maybe you can't eat it, you can...
Ah, we've just made it wearable. Is it something that would be worn from the neck down?
No.
Miss Francis doesn't mean all the way from the neck. It means somewhere below the neck. So that'd be yes.
Somewhere below the neck.
Yes.
If I had one on, is it possible that you could not see it?
If you were wearing it now, is it possible we couldn't see it? I would think so, wouldn't you?
Well, yes.
Yes, I should think so.
Well, then it is worn underneath the dress or the suit?
No, that makes it 7 down and 3 to go.
Is it anything that is particularly Scotch, like a kilt or something like that?
I think, Bennett, you know now that you have the product. Now, what does Miss Farrell have to do with the kilt?
Well, this is going to kilt me. Does she make kilts?
She makes kilts, that's right. And I want you to know that Miss Farrell says that she makes them for both men and women, and the men like theirs a little shorter. Now, there's a shocking business for you, but Miss Farrell, you gave them so much trouble, we're going to flip all the cards anyway, and our thanks for being a very interesting guest on What's My
Mr.
Line.
Daly, we must ask this one question before Miss Farrell goes. Do men wear anything under kilts or don't they? Do men wear anything under those kilts or don't they?
Yes,
Do
that takes care of everything. Thank you very much, Miss Farrell. Well, that was a bit involved, panel, but you did very well, I think. Let's see if we can't stack you with a second challenger. Would the next challenger sign in, please? Kevin? Kevin Hanlon. And? Friend. And friend. How do you do? Mr. Hanlon, where are your friends?
Oh, they're right here.
Well, will the friends come in, please? Fine. Just stand here with me. Big company, isn't it? All right. Mr. Hanlon, where are you from?
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Will you, since you were the one who made the signature, walk down and let the panel have a close look at you? Will your friends please come with me?
Hello, Mr. Hanlon.
Hanlon, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Hanlon.
All right, Mr. Hanlon, if you'll come over here and sit down next to me now. Do you know our scoring system, sir? We'll get back to zero. If
Yes.
you do, then let's let our friends at home and our audience here know exactly what your lines are. Guessed, all of these gentlemen have basically the same line. Mr. Hanlon will be their spokesman, as he was the man who signed in for all of them. I will tell you that he's salaried. This is true of all of his friends. And we'll begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Oh, do you have anything to do with amusement or entertainment?
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you work for some branch of the government?
Yes.
Is it the federal government?
Mm-hmm.
You all work in Washington?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
You work for the federal government, but not all in Washington. Would you call yourselves operatives?
Yes, sir.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Mr. Hanlon.
They may be wanted in Washington, the foreign...
You use the word operatives, and Bennett, I think the connotation will be clear to us. We hope
I
that
mean
we're...
that they operated something.
You mean, did they operate something? Well, that's fine. We'll give you to know anyway. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you do your work both indoors and outdoors?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in some trouble, John?
No, doing fine. No, I'm the one that's in trouble.
You are, Dorothy.
Do you have anything to do with the executive branch of the government?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the president?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
Does the president have anything to do with you? Well,
Yes, the president does have something to do with it.
do you I know what I want to say, but I can't express myself, John. If I had somebody from the Addams family here, I know I'd... Do you function as pages or messengers of some sort?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Do each of you work in the same position in different states of the Union?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Are you gentlemen members of the United States Armed Forces?
Yes.
Are all of you in the same branch of service?
Yes.
You look like pilots, are you?
No.
8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Oh, dear. You wear uniforms, though,
Yes.
usually. Do you all participate in the same type of thing?
Yes.
You're not one crew, are you?
Yes.
Oh, you are one crew. Well, bye, Fred.
All right, Miss Kilgallen passes, Mr. Allen.
I wasn't passing. I just got a no because I asked it the wrong way.
You said are they all in one crew, and the answer was yes.
Yes, they're all in the same boat if they're with the Navy, probably.
Well, are you in one crew that goes off the ground?
Goes off
No.
the ground. Please, now, let's see. No help for the moderator. Are you all in one crew that goes off the ground? Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you go off the ground in the sense that you go into water?
Yes.
Do you ever go below water?
Yes.
Are you a submarine crew?
Yes.
Yes. I want you to meet, panel, the entire crew of the submarine X-1.
Oh, is it? Thrilling.
And now, Lieutenant Seven Hanlon, will you introduce your crew, please, sir?
Chief Malone Jones, Chief First Electrician's Mate Jack Roberts, Engineman Philip Thompson, and Engineman Charles Annabelle.
Congratulations to a fine group of men. Yes, Dorothy.
Don't you ever get claustrophobia?
Do you ever get claustrophobic? No.
You like it down there?
Submariners don't seem to want it. I would say this is the first of the midget submarines, is it not, sir?
Yes,
And you use it now to test harbor defenses and
Right.
tactical stuff that you're working out. Well, you're trailblazers in the United States Navy, and good to have you all with us. Thanks a lot for coming.
I think they're on the wrong show. They ought to be on Down You Go.
On that happy note, we'll flip the rest of the cards, and thank you, Lieutenant, and your crew for being with us. Good to have you all. And now we come to the special feature of our show, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends on the panel are blindfolded. The blindfolds are all in place, panel?
Yes, Mr. Dan.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You will ask one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise, and let's begin all with Arlene Francis.
Are you a performer?
Mr. Cerf?
Are you a female performer?
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you a singer?
Are you a singer? No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you appearing in a show that's currently on Broadway?
Miss Francis?
Are you a comedian?
Well, I would say this, Miss Arlene. Our guest can play comedy or tragedy or you name it, and she can do it, and better than most, too.
Good.
Mr. Cerf?
Are you the star of the show in which you are appearing?
Miss
Do you
Kil-
wear any armor?
Do you wear any what? Miss?
Armor.
Do you wear any armor in the show in which you are? No. Mr. Allen?
You're not Julie Harris. No.
No, she wears armor.
No, not Miss Julie Harris. Miss Francis?
Are you co-starred in this play with 2 other people?
Mr. Cerf?
Is your voice usually a wonderfully husky one?
I will answer that yes.
Yes, it must be Maggie Sullivan.
Maggie Sullivan is
Arlene.
I think we ought to...
You couldn't hide the huskiness, Maggie.
But you did pretty good. I know, I could just squeak a go way down.
No, the squeak was wonderful, but I think that second
I
answer...
think we should mention that the name of the play is Janice, and that you are enchanting in it, and that it's a big hit. I think we ought to mention all those things.
That's really lovely. Thank you.
One thing that I lost signal on, I know that, well, shucks, let's just flip cards. I'm in a card-flipping mood that you want us to do something special with this, and I didn't find out what it was.
Yes, I wanted to go to the Seeing Eye, which is at Morristown, New Jersey.
Right, ma'am, we will see that it does go to the Seeing Eye, and we thank you for support. Nice to have you with us. Much sweeter. Will you say goodnight to the family? Thank you, Margaret Sullavan. Panel, you cleaned that up very quickly. In fact, you cleaned it up so quickly that I'm going to take a precious 30 seconds to say a few words because I've got some New Year's resolutions I want people to make. This is kind of selfish, I suppose, but we've recently started cooperating here in New York to keep our city clean. And actually, some of my friends are thinking about a national campaign along these lines. And I just want to suggest that with the new year that we get a slogan, say, a cleaner America is up to all of us, and then keep our own communities clean. It's done wonderful work here in New York already, and I'm a little tired of people coming from overseas and telling us that our cities are dirty. So, New Year's resolution for all of you. Help keep your cities clean, use the litter baskets, and don't throw things around. Now I'll throw another challenger at the panel. Will you come in and sign in, please? Sign in, won't you? Richard? Herdick, is that right? How are you, sir? All right, Mr. Herdick, where are you from?
New York.
Will you look at the panel? That's all right, bear up. Come with me. All right, Mr. Herdick, we're a little short of time, so I'll ask you if you know how we score things.
Yes.
Good, then let's let our friends at home, friends in the theater, know exactly what your line is. Panel, you have about 2 minutes to see if you can figure it out what it is Mr. Herdick does. He is salaried, and we'll begin the questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mr. Herdick, you have a rather lean and hungry look. Are you in show business?
No, sir.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
No, ma'am.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you work for some branch of the government?
No, sir.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, do you work for any branch of the park departments?
Yes, ma'am.
No, P-top, small conference.
How can there be confusion about parks?
No,
Small
ma'am.
part.
No, ma'am. That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Do you wear a uniform, Mr. Herdick?
Yes, sir.
Is it a uniform that would be generally recognized by people?
Yes, sir.
Is it blue?
No, sir.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is it more light than dark?
No, ma'am.
That makes it 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is your work confined to the outdoors? Do you work
Yes.
outdoors exclusively?
Good deal.
No.
Well, a good deal, Fred. I would say he does a lot of outdoor work.
Does he have any implements that help him with his work in the
Yes.
outdoors?
Yes, he uses some implements.
Are these implements confined to the activity that takes place in the street?
No. No. And I know what you're after. That's 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you have anything to do with animals?
Yes, ma'am.
You do?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have implements, but it isn't confined to the street. Well, my dear, this
Well,
is
the
going to be
animals-
difficult. Are they large animals?
Yes.
Are they larger than a cow?
No.
And with this happy thought that the,
Arlene!
What is it,
that the hippopotamus is not larger than a cow.
What?
Yes. Mr. Hedrick works at the Zoological Gardens, and he is the
that's a park.
hippopotamus keeper. No, it isn't.
Isn't a hippopotamus larger than a cow? The group I know of.
It all depends on which cow you have in mind.
And not
And which hippopotamus you have in mind.
Oh,
And
you're
besides,
pretty
we ran out of
sneaky.
time. Mr. Hedrick, thanks very much. We had a lot of fun. Nice to have you in. We'll be back in just a moment. And now don't remember, we're all going to keep our towns cleaner. And with that happy thought, until next week, good night, Miss Dorothy.
If you hadn't given that commercial about keeping our towns cleaner, we would have gotten the hippopotamus man. Good night, Fred.
Good night, Dorothy. I have a slogan for you, John. Keep your city pretty.
Very good.
Good night, Arlene.
Good night. Good night, you baby hippopotamus.
For Christmas, I'm going to send you a book showing you the size of a hippopotamus. Good night, John.
Thank you, Bennett, Cerf, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line?
GSN plays it back with marathons of each